It's International Men's Day. Men of Reddit, how are you today? The current situation is within acceptable parameters. Haha, gotta rise and grind, get that bread. Quiet sobbing. Man, do I hate my job, but at least it's International Men's Day. What? Just celebrating being an international man. Physically, I'm relatively okay. Mentally, I am exhausted and clinging on for dear life until my wife and I have a week off in January. I work for a manufacturer whose sales explode come Christmas time, and I'm head of supply chain. You're the guy who, when someone asks, "How's work?" you're like, "Meh, can't complain." When you're in your head, you're like, "Get me out of this hole for 1 week so I can spend some time with the woman I love." You're nearly there, bro. Rough morning. Thank you for asking. I have a teenage daughter who lives with her mom 2 towns away from me, who also never wants to wake up for school. Her mom doesn't wake up until an hour after school has already started, and at that point has to rush off to work every morning. So if our daughter oversleeps, her mom won't drive her in, leading to 11 missed days already in the first quarter of school. So I am now tasked, because there is no other option, with waking up at 6:15 a.m. every morning, driving across town, picking up our daughter for school, then driving back across town again, school is in the other direction, dropping her off by 7:30 a.m., then rushing back the other way to get to my work by 8:30 a.m. Which is all part of parenting, I guess. Just wish I could either get custody or convince her mom to be a mom. Dude, her mom is too lazy to get up earlier to take her daughter to school and expects you to do it? She sounds like a piece of work. Sounds like they're not living together for a good reason. I didn't even know this was a thing. In Russia, it's 23rd of February. It used to be solely a military holiday, but gradually it becomes a men's holiday. So these days, even losers and cucks like me who avoided the compulsory military service get flowers and chocolates from women and stuff. Getting married in a few months and frustrated at how people are treating me as a passenger at my wedding. I did not dream about my wedding since I was a little boy, but it's still a huge deal for me and I can't wait for it. But the 2 reactions I usually get are, from men, "It will all be over soon, just remember it's her day and not yours." From women, "How much are you helping out? Just remember it's her day, not yours." Nobody except my fiance seems to care how I feel in a tuxedo, if I'm happy with the location, or how proud I am about the whole experience. I suppose it's not a big deal, but it's been really irritating and eye-opening to be treated as the less important part of such a big, huge thing in my life. That's dumb. It's just as much your day as hers. She's not getting married to herself, lol. I wish I could have some concrete advice for you, but maybe express how you feel. Say you want to be more involved and firmly, but nicely assert your concerns, wants, and needs. Pretty good. On the garbage truck headed to the route. We finally got working heat in this one, and it's godsend. Different job and different problems, but equally ready to tackle the day. Just saw the sun rise over the ocean, and it was a good one, so I'm okay. It's a nice 72 degrees and should be beautiful today. It's a nice 72 degrees. I sure hope that's Fahrenheit, otherwise we're underestimating global warming. Not great, unfortunately. For the first time in my life, I've got absolutely nothing to do and I'm struggling to find enjoyment in anything. If you have any interest in video games and have a PS4, let me know. Maybe we can play something together. I'm at work right now, but I'll be on later. PSN NeoJinx. Sorry, I do not identify as an international man. I am regional at best. Nonsense, you're definitely an Avengers level threat. Had a seizure last night between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. when my daughter wakes up for her bottle, so I'm effing tired. Other than that, can't complain. I have small seizures where I don't lose consciousness or convulse. This has resulted from a traumatic brain injury I sustained while snowboarding in 2000. I wasn't wearing a helmet and I'm lucky to be alive and not paralyzed. I broke my zygomatic arch, cheekbone, 2 molars, and my coronal suture, the ziggy-zaggy part of your skull where the pieces fuse together. My eye swelled out of its socket and my brain swelled up too, and I was not expected to live, and the doctors called my parents asking if I had a will made out. But I pulled through and now I live a normal life except for periodic seizures. Please, take any experience for advice and wear a helmet when you're doing anything that could injure your head. Seizures are, in my case, very annoying, and I put my family through hell worrying while I recovered. For those who wonder what it's like to have one of these minor seizures, it's sort of like the world becomes 2D. I get a sensation similar to having to sneeze, but throughout my entire body, and then I breathe heavy and get a headache, followed with feeling loggy for the rest of the day. Medication helps greatly, but lack of sleep and stress can bring them on. I didn't even know it was a day. It may be hard to believe, but every day is technically a day. This time last year, I was in a deep depression. I was completely numb to life. I had lost touch with everyone except my immediate family. I was severely overweight, stressed, and not taking care of myself. Completely detached. The only thing keeping me going was work, and it was a real stressor. I was in this state for probably 6 years. I got invited to a wedding. I didn't want to look like a complete troll in all of the pictures or ruin the mood on the day in any way. On New Year's Eve, I decided to completely change my routine and diet. I only ate food I cooked for myself from unprocessed ingredients. I avoided bread and other heavy carbs like the plague. I skipped lunch. I only drank water. I lost 20 kilograms in 4 months. My feelings came back online and they were intense. I forgot what it felt like to be driven by feelings rather than detached thought. I suddenly became naturally expressive and accessible to other people again. To my own amazement, I was back in the room, so to speak. But I wasn't quite in time with things yet, and I needed to spend some time catching up with myself. I reconnected with an old friend to patch things up, but also as an inadvertent cry for help. Turned out he was rather lonely too. Made a nice fool of myself with him, but that's okay. We love each other. He's a great friend to have. I started experimenting with dudes. Never thought that would happen, but it did. It was fun and intense and exciting, but not the same feeling as with girls. Been on a couple of dates, but will be hoping for a new relationship with a girl after the new year. I've been weight training since May, gained probably 5 kgs or more. I'm already looking good. After the new year, I'm going to lose the fat to see what's underneath, and it's going to rock. I'm starting cognitive behavioral therapy next week as I'm not good with vulnerability or intimacy. Definitely suffered from PTSD and disassociation. Hoping to nip these in the bud before a serious relationship comes along. I have issues, but it's okay. I'm going to work on them as much as I can. Overall, I'm doing astoundingly well, and it's going to get better. Thanks for asking. Pretty empty, to be honest. I used to take joy in a few things like video games, comic books, and TV shows, but since about a year ago, I found less and less pleasure in these things to the point that they bored me. I sold all of my comic books and 90% of my video games, and almost all of the ones I have tried this year have just bored me after a few hours. A couple of exceptions to that, like recently Death Stranding, but I used to play easily 6-7 new games a year to completion. It's been 2 so far this year. I didn't even bother seeing Endgame in the cinema, instead watching it on the tiny screen of a plane in September. This was after I saw every single MCU movie since I Am 2 in theaters the weekend they came out. I have tried picking up other hobbies in case I am just burned out on these, but nothing else has really given me any satisfaction. Also, this job is bad, and I am struggling to find gainful employment elsewhere. So this year has been pretty boring and exasperating. Have you been exercising? Sounds like you have a low mood depression or the beginnings of depression. Can you go for a run? Maybe do 2 runs in a week. In nature if you can, and your desire for other forms of entertainment may start to return too. Have nutritious food too. It can do wonders for your mood. If the above doesn't work in a relatively short space of time, give it a week, 2 weeks, check in with your doctor. In fact, maybe check in with your doctor anyway, but start the exercise now. I go for a run maybe twice a week, but I just bought Ring Fit Adventure 2 for Switch, so I'm doubling up. Sometimes I get into low mood funk, but I really think the exercise helps. And sometimes I can't bring myself to actually going for a run, but I try not to blame myself and just let it go. Looks like you're from the UK. Hello from Birmingham. My crush brought me something to eat. I think I'll ask her out. Update. So today I went to ask her out and it turned out that she is ill. I'm doing it tomorrow and keep you updated. Update. Guys, I failed you. I tried to drive with her, but I missed her, and the next time I will see her will be on Monday. But I promise you I'll ask her on Monday. Update. Sorry, I forgot to update. Yesterday and today she wasn't in school, but I'll ask the next time I have the chance and inform you about the outcome. While we were driving, I found out that some boy gave her a few bread rolls, which she gave a few people, and I was just one of the few who got one. So maybe she didn't think about me in her free time, but at least I got one. So, as we had to wait for the light to turn, I asked her if she wants to go ice skating, and I don't remember in which order she did the following. She said maybe, and asked when. She smiled and bit her lower lip. Then we had to drive different ways. Because I'm an idiot, I answered that I didn't know when. Because I'm an idiot, a part of me now thinks that she tries to find a way to say no or to avoid me. Because I'm an idiot, a part of me now thinks she is just happy, just a very quiet voice in my head. Because I'm an idiot, I just said bye instead of asking for a clear answer. My new goal is to ask for a clear answer, and I'll be prepared with a date and time. Just chasing a check per usual. Chasing a check so you can spend 90% of it on bills and 10% on food. I know the feeling. Honestly, sometimes I feel I'm about to crack. I have about $200,000 in debt, $60,000 of which is credit card balances. My wife created most of our debt with student loans and does not work. She doesn't work because she has a bundle of mental health disorders. She also doesn't work because she's still depressed from a late miscarriage we suffered over a year ago. The miscarriage was hard on me, but we don't talk about it because we're always talking about how hard it was on her. Sex with her is mostly disappointing because she's hardly ever into it. Sex with her is a rare occurrence, so I masturbate a lot.